I am of the opinion that a lot of you with mage pawns are not using them correctly or um, applying their skills correctly. So, today I want to cover what I believe to be the most ideal mage setup. Um,
Hoy, look, no need to
let's run
overthink
over
it.
here
You
to
can
the
change it on a
vocation
whim.
guild, change vocation. I'll put my mage pawn, or I'll put my pawn as a mage. Oh boy, that's not that's not the armor he wears normally. So, there are a few different categories for the mage, um, the mage pawn. So here we have our damaging abilities: high flagellation, high leaven, and high frigor. And then we have spell hold as well, which could be used with any of these spells. Um, so the damaging spells here aren't really that necessary, but it is a good idea to have at least one of them. Because your mage will mostly be running around and trying to keep you and your party alive, it doesn't need to be a high damaging spell. I recommend high leaven because it comes out fast and it can snipe weak points. Um, and it does decent damage, especially if you have a strong enough staff. Now, the reason I say it is a good idea to have at least one of these damaging abilities is because most of the time your mage will be of a kind-hearted inclination, and being a kind-hearted inclination when a wolf drags you off or a ogre picks you up and runs away with you, your mage cannot do anything if you do not have a damaging ability. Your mage needs to be able to do damage in order to defend you as well. Now, these three spells here I almost never see on mages, so I'm not even going to touch them. Um, but this is effectively a a sleep type spell, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but anyway, high palladium. This is an important one. As you can see, I'm rocking it on my mage. This shield completely shuts off all damage, all stagger effects, all status effects, all debilitations. This is, in my opinion, an absolute must have. Um, very, very strong, very useful, and you know, I believe prevention is the best method to battle any type of debilitation or status effect is by preventing it from happening in the first place. That is why I highly recommend not to use um, Halidom, because although Halidom is very nice to a degree, it is definitely not as useful as not having to deal with the debilitation in the first place. Affinities, either one really, they all have their purpose. Fire doing the most damage, ice being great for crowd control, and lightning for is great for knocking things down. Um, I personally choose ice affinity because it is very, very useful all round. You can freeze your targets, and it deals with those annoying slimes the best. Um, High Halidom already touched on this. It is outclassed by High Palladium, in my opinion. High Celerity. This is an interesting one. This one is the one that boosts your speed. Now, this could be good, um, but I think because of the limited amount of skills we have available, I think solid defense with High Palladium is the better choice. Uh, Agent Sucker, you already have a heal. This I don't think this is necessary at all. Um, the time it takes your mage to cast that spell to heal one person very quickly, he can take that same time and heal everyone just a bit more slowly. Celestial Pain. This is the Master's teaching for Mage. This is an absolute must, in my opinion, and I believe that opinion to be an objective fact. I don't care if you disagree with me, you're just wrong. I'm kidding, of course, but still, I believe Celestial Pain is a must in all of your mage kits if you do have it. It increases your stamina regeneration. After this spell is cast, you basically have infinite stamina. And say you're a sorcerer or you are a magic archer or any vocation really that is very stamina hungry, you can pump out your best damage while Celestial Pain is active. Now, the whole reason I went through what I believe to be the best setup for Mage, you can easily change High Level to Frigga or Flagration, yeah, and you can easily change your affinity to either lightning or fire or ice. But High Palladium in Celestial Pain is a definite must. I think having a damaging spell is also a definite must. There's actually been a video of a guy he posted a video of why your mage should have a damaging spell, and it was exactly what I said earlier. A wolf grabbed him, and the mage just ran after him and started healing him instead of trying to free him from the wolf's grasp. So, yeah, your mage being defensive sometimes requires a bit of offensive capabilities. Like I said, I prefer Celestial Pain, High Level, because it does come out very fast, it can snipe weak points, and it does okay damage. And in water scenarios, it even does more. So, very great. Now, the reason I went through this is because most people run these four abilities down here. All of them support abilities, and if if that's the way you like to play, great. But I can promise you, not a lot of people will hire your pawn, because all of this, although they are useful, definitely none of these skills are useless, except for um, Argent's Sucker. I don't think this is useful at all. But what I normally see is High Halidom, High Celerity, Celestial Pain, and High Palladium. All good defensive and buffing type spells, but they don't do much for your party, let's be honest. Um, sure, you are buffed up, but without an affinity, you will feel the pain of not having any affinity on your weapons if you run into an enemy that is resistant to physical damage, like the um, slimes or the rock saurians, or any enemy that is resistant to physical damage. If you get dragged off by wolves, your mage will be the first one to run towards you to try and help you. And if they don't have something to do damage with, they will not be able to help you. It's as simple as that. So, people, please, 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 if you play mage yourself, that's fine. No judgment. But for your pawns, please follow these rules. Alright? I'm not the only one that thinks like this. You can find many different examples. You have to have a mage that can cover a lot of bases. High Palladium, it shuts off any status effects, debilitations, shuts off any damage, and shuts off any knockbacks. You can't get knocked around with that shield active. Alright? Preventing a status effect is better than having to cure it. Celestial Pain, infinite stamina. I don't need to explain why that is important. High Level or any damaging spell, your mage needs to be able to defend you with an offensive ability as well. Otherwise, they are not going to be of much help when you get dragged around by enemies or pinned down. Affinity, good. Unless you are running weapons that already has a built-in affinity, like Cinder Spine, which has the fire affinity, or Heaven's Key, the daggers with the holy affinity, or any weapon that has a built-in affinity. But if you are running a party with just pure physical weapons, put affinity spell on your mage. If you have your own affinities on your weapons, great. You have that slot to do something else. But if not, run an affinity. Please, people are not going to hire your mage pawns, and if you follow these rules, it looks much better, in my opinion, and you know, they might hire your pawns. Also, last tip, put your mage on thief. You're going to have to play thief for 10 minutes, maybe not even 10 minutes. Get the subtlety augment. Decreases the likelihood of being targeted by foes. I do not need to explain to you why that is very, very valuable on a mage. Catalysis, or catalysis, either way. Well, this one I can actually change out. Sorry, that's not the one I want. Constancy is the one I was looking for. There we go. Augments your knockdown resistance. A mage that cannot be knocked down stays in the fight a lot longer. There is so many good ways to kit out your mages. So please, please stop giving them all support spells, or stop giving your mage all damage spells. It's not a sorcerer. You must have at least one, but not all of them. Don't give him all affinities. It's not going to be useful. Have a nice, well-rounded mage. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you in some degree.
You've naught to look
If you
many
guys would like to
thanks.
see any more mage guides or pawn guides, I would be very happy to share my opinion and my thoughts on what are the most ideal pawns. The most ideal pawns. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.